Excuse me. Sorry about that. It is the Art of Cycling, and I'm Greg Leach, and it's intermediate sprint time today. This is the competition, I believe, came in the 70s, if I'm not mistaken. Please correct me if I'm wrong, if you know. But as Phil Liggett likes to say, it was brought in because the spinners wanted something to race for. Clearly, with all the mountain stages in the tour, it wasn't any way they were going to win. I'd hate to see what a tour was like with all flat stages. So this is called the Sprinter's Jersey, and it's for the most consistent sprinter. And there's two places to earn points out on course. Of course, the finish, and that's for every stage. So mountaintop finishes, and they do have what they call there's a whole big formula for figuring out how many points will be given for each stage finish. The points on the intermediate sprints are very consistent. Shoot, I had a plan here and I already blew the execution of it. So it's fun to use the road markers, but it'll still work. Just this turn arrow was perfectly pointing at Jonathan Milan here, who's currently in the green jersey. And while they are not, the breakaway is still up the road, so they're not racing for maximum points, which has been the case for almost every single intermediate sprint. Also in every single intermediate sprint, today being no exception, he is won from the peloton. If I'm not mistaken. So yesterday he won, and it was the whole group, and then the breakaway got formed. But today, he, like most stages, apparently, seemingly, it was a best of the rest situation. Which he certainly was. Apparently there's quite the updraft here for the fans and the sprinters, but up and cross, so really not affecting the sprint at all. And it is what I believe the Slovenian flag, so clearly not for these two riders. Sort of disappointed in almost every intermediate sprint. There's been Eritrean flags for their countrymen, Biniam Girmay, who won the green jersey last year. The first black African to carry a leader's jersey all the way to the finish. Consistently. So yesterday, this painting over here of Ben Healy winning has a spelling error. Hopefully this isn't one too. But, if it is, it is. Today is Slurpee Day, 7-Eleven, here in the good old US of A. Don't know if that applies elsewhere. But theoretically, I don't know if they're going to do it today. But you can get a free Slurpee at 7-Eleven on 7-Eleven. I guess in Europe it would be November 7th, wouldn't it? For those who, I'm sure everybody knows that Europe, I think in fact the rest of the world, including the military in the US, goes month, date first and then month. My father did that too, but then he worked for the Defense Department. So working my way through the palette. So this was a fairly simple image, again, which most of the sprints are. Yesterday's sprint, in fact, was incredibly simple, but here he is winning from the front of the peloton. So, like I say, consistency is the name of the game. Building up as many points, winning stages when you can. I think it would be pretty difficult to win the jersey without winning a stage. Not true with the yellow jersey. But, excuse me. In fact, the guy who won the record books never won. Lance Armstrong, I think he did one of his 7 wins not win a stage. But that's for every yellow jersey. Winner of the yellow jersey, it's very important to win a stage. They kind of feel almost like they didn't win the tour if they don't win a stage. Which, of course, isn't true, but you know, if you're supposed to be the best guy in this race and don't win a stage, and like I say, it's happened. A little hard to defend that you were the best if you didn't manage to win a stage. But the tour is, the winner is the one who has took the least amount of time to get around France, and not the guy who won the most stages. That's, again, the green jersey. So, I don't know what's going on with Biniam. I thought today, with this climb up towards the finish, it was probably his best chance to take the intermediate sprint. They, in particular, being Phil Liggett and Bob Roll. That's who I get to watch. Obviously, different news services or sports coverage around the world use different broadcasters. So, and Twitter being what it was, everybody complains about their broadcasters. And poor Phil and Bob are no exception to that rule. It's interesting, the finish yesterday, which was a mountaintop finish, the banners along the side were the sprint banners of Skoda, so the light and dark green, which I'm about to paint. Oh, that's not green enough. Just grab a little of this green here. And then the yellow banners were not at the finish like they normally are. Actually, normally you have the polka dot jersey on sprint finishes. But again, I digress, which is par for the course for these videos. So did I say this is the Slovenian flag for Tadej Pogačar, the right now presumed winner of the Tour. He's sitting in second place. Certainly the odds-on favorite. But there's also Primož Roglič, the leader of Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe, who's the other Slovenian in the race. I think there's only the two. There are some Slovaks and other Slavic racers. But yeah, I did talk about that. Sorry. Also, the green jersey used to be a very bright green a couple years back. It switched to this minty, foresty green combination, which I'm not a big fan of. But I finally, took me a while to figure out the exact mix to get those colors. So we're pretty much closing in now. We're going to do the black, and as you'll notice, picking up this purple color. I think it's a phthalo purple. And this green that is a dark hunter's green. Mix those together, and I get this lovely black. I mean, look at that. And I find that so much more attractive than ivory or lamp black, which is what's normally the blacks you get with paints. Then I'm going to use a little bit of shadow here. There's not much. And I left that because dark road, white paint, so the shadow, of course, would be different. Actually, we don't really see. Biniam's shadow. We do see the dark under his helmet, though. I do love this little jagged shadow line created by the fans on the side of the road. And then, to help the riders find the point, not only is there the stripe on the road, but overhead there is a banner, or gantry seems to be the word that gets used. So naturally it casts a shadow as well. And shadows can be very, very useful in creating interesting work. So it gives something else. And then also, because there is no white paint, and white paper is what you need to use. That reminds me, Larry, I really appreciate all your remarks. You all can join in as well. Love to hear what you have to say. Larry's been asking questions and making his own observations about the tour and about painting. So Larry, yeah, the white is the white paper because there is no white paint. So like that white lane marker, I paint the road around it. Oh, forgot his helmet. So Lidl Trek normally has a red and black helmet. Black on the back section of it. Red on the top and front with a black stripe down the middle. And but because he's in the green jersey, they provided Jonathan Milan, with a green one that matches the color of the green jersey. Don't think he's riding a green bike, but that's also common. I'm sure they'll get him one if he's out on one already. When Jasper Philipsen crashed out, his bike was a green bike, but they had every reason to believe he would be in that jersey for a long time. And Milan may have to thank, that's the wrong way to say that, but he certainly took over the lead in the green jersey when Jasper crashed out. So that's this piece. Consistently the best of the rest, because today, again, the breakaway was up the road, so he was the best of the rest in the sprint. And all this work, all the paintings of the stage, which I think right now I'm averaging almost 7 paintings per stage. You can read about them and see them at theartofcycling.blogspot.com. And then you can see my name spelled right there. But all of them are available for sale at craigleach.com. And if you go to the blog, you can follow each post. There's a link there where you can purchase the work. And right now, as of the start of today, we were at 25% of them have sold. So thank you all for that too. So thanks for watching. Be sure to leave a comment if you're interested or got any questions. And just a little bit of labeling back here. And subscribe if you haven't already, so you will see each of these as they get posted. Thank you again.